Welcome back, everybody. Wild Willie here, and this is my next episode of Borderlands 4 tips for leveling as we're going along. I got 10 tips for your next 5 levels in Borderlands, and I'm focusing on levels 6 through 10. I've just reached level 10 in game, and let's start off with the first tip. I've been following one of my own tips from the previous episode, been driving around uncovering the map. I got a silo over here that I need to take over. There's something next door that I have not uncovered. And then driving down to the southern portion of the map, I found this safe house that I can fast travel to on the southern portion of the map. So I have been taking advantage of that. Plus, it's got a really nice view. So next up, want to touch on some inventory management tips I've got. First, I'm going to be going into my rev kits. So I found a legendary, it's just a random drop, legendary rev kit. We all know what these do. You hit them up, you get an initial burst of healing, or you get a healing over time, or you get both, which is what we have. But what I want to draw your attention to, and something to watch out for as you're leveling up through the game, is the passive effects. So this is something where if I go into a fight, I could proactively use my rev kit before I get into the fight, and then I'm going to be regenerating health over time, especially if I get low. And then I get increased reload speed, which is nice going into a fight. So that's something to keep an eye out for as you move forward through the game. It's not just so much what the heal is and the heal over time and the cooldown, but if you get any passive effects on top of that. Next thing I want to talk about is shields. Again, same thing with passive boosts. You want to look for that. This one is giving me 3 armor shields over time, and it builds up over time as it regenerates and grants me additional shield capacity. So if you look at my shield on the bottom left, it's 488, and that is a big bonus to me. It helps keep me alive. In terms of inventory management, this is going to be my next tip. Every time you leave to go out into the field, the next tip is for you. If you look in the upper right hand corner, you see my backpack is at 4 out of 42 and my bank is 5 out of 100. So I basically have gone through and emptied out my backpack. I got a few spare guns, but basically I'm just rocking out with what I'm equipped with so that when I go out into the world, I can get more stuff. I can load up on stuff. I can just pick up everything I see. If I'm in a hurry, I can mark stuff as junk as I go along. I can send it to my bank from out into the field. So be aware of that. Every time you start heading out, make sure your inventory is has a lot of available space so that you can load up on stuff. That brings me to my next tip. You're going into our SDU points storage deck upgrade. You're going to get those for driving around in the world, uncovering the map, looking at the icons to see what's available in that area. It'll tell you if it has quests. It'll tell you if it's a fast travel point. It'll tell you what materials were there, what vendors are there. And you want to be keeping an eye out for things like safe houses and silos. Silos, there are going to be 3 in each region, and there are what you are going to need to find in order to find that region's vault. So getting back to my storage deck upgrade tip, as you're going around discovering these areas and unlocking them, you are going to get points. I would recommend again that you keep putting points into your backpack, a little bit into your bank and lost loot until you feel like you're at a comfortable level there. And then I would start sprinkling, and you're seeing I'm starting to do this, sprinkling the ammo around and getting my ammunition types leveled up. So that's my next tip. Once you have a good backpack capacity, start sprinkling your SDU points into your ammo types. And then the next tip that I have, I might have repeated this from a previous one, is that make sure you have different types of weapons. I have an assault rifle, a shotgun, another shotgun, and then a submachine gun. So I have at least, if I find a good pistol, I might sub out one of my shotguns. But right now I'm kind of liking what I have. I got even though this is a basic one, it's shooting sticky grenades and it's doing a lot of damage for me. Good DPS. So that's the next tip. Make sure you're varying your gun types as you find them so that you can vary your ammo types. And that is another tip added on to this. You'll see on my SpecTech assault rifle that the secondary fire consumes sniper rifle ammo. So I don't have a sniper rifle equipped, but I can dip into my sniper rifle ammo by going to the all fire mode on my assault rifle. All right, so the next tip I have is a little bit nerdy, and I'm highlighting this particular submachine gun to talk about more about this. And that is in Borderlands, when we're talking about difficulty levels. I talked about this in my first episode. Basically, when you are doing damage against the various health bars in the game, you have the red flesh bars, you have the blue shield bars, and you have the yellow armor bars. And red you want to use incendiary damage against, and that's going to be very strong. However, shock is going to be very weak against flesh. And then moving on, shock is very strong against shields though. And then corrosive is going to be very strong against armor. So right now, this is going to be something that I would switch to, if I had an enemy that had armor and then had flesh, this would be a great weapon to use. You can see my shotgun here is doing radiation damage. So that's going to help me take out shields. I don't have a good shock weapon right now, so I'm going to use radiation against any of the blue shields. So just kind of be aware. Incendiary is good against the red health bars. Radiation is good against the blue health bars, the shields. And shock is even better. And then against the yellow armor bars, cryo is good, but corrosive is even better. So as you go through the game, if you're playing on normal or hard difficulty, that's going to matter more. If you're playing on easy, just point the gun and shoot. You should be fine. So the next tips I want to go into is in regards to your cooldowns. By now, you probably figured out that, you have grenades, you have special skills that you can use, and you have your rev kits. So you can see on the far left next to my level 10, there's my rev kit. I just gave myself a boost and gave myself heal over time, etc., etc. Then I'm playing a Vex build. It's a Spectre build. So I have my 2 cooldowns that I'm managing. I can put up 2 Spectres. Can I actually put up 3? I can. Okay, I did not know I could put up 3. And I changed my weapon. So you see that it changed my Spectre. But you can see the cooldown in the bottom middle part of my screen, counting down to when I can summon Spectres again. And then if I'm throwing my grenades, now you see the grenade cooldown. So you want to be kind of mindful of those and managing those throughout your fights. And, you might be something that you do a little bit more strategically when you go into fights. If you know your rev kit is on cooldown and you're taking damage, you might want to take cover for a minute until it comes back. Same thing if your abilities are on cooldown, you might want to just chill out a little bit instead of charging into the fight and getting yourself killed. We get ourselves killed a lot. There's no reason to do it more than necessary. So that's going to bring me into my next tip. Somewhere in this level 6 to 10 range, you are going to start encountering badasses in the world. And what the hell is a badass, Wild Willie? Well, as I was, little spoiler here for those of you who don't want to know, as I was uncovering one of my vault fragments in the far southwestern corner of the map, I encountered a badass that was throwing shock grenades at me, and like I was like, why am I dying? Like he's like basically instant killing me. I don't know if it mattered that I was standing in water, but he was chucking out grenades and they were basically going through my shield, which was a regular shield, not an armor one, and then going through my health bar, and I was just dying. And I was like, what is with this enemy? And then when I targeted him, I'm like, oh, this is a badass enemy. They have special abilities, they have more health, they're kind of nasty, so you need to start being aware of where they are in fights when you encounter them. So the next thing I want to talk about is just a little bit about customization, and you're going to be unlocking a lot of cosmetics for both yourself, for your weapons, for your Echo 4, and for your vehicle. One thing I do want to point out with the vehicle ones, though, is if you see, like, I have the Daedalus and the Jacobs drives unlocked for my vehicle, for my Sidewinder here. And you can see that my Daedalus is rank 2 and my Jacobs is rank 1. As you go through the game using various weapon types, you can level these up just like you're leveling up your own abilities. So, you know, you will be able to boost faster, handle better, etc. As you're using weapons. So make sure, you know, if you're going through the game, you're like, you know, this isn't... Go back into your vehicle customization and look at your hover drive options to see if you have something that is going to perform better for you. The other thing that I will mention is that when you unlock different types of vehicles, I don't have anything unlocked for your Digirunner. Basically, think smaller is better. Like, you can put on anything that you think is cool, but you know, I've already, you know, seen other content footage and whatnot. The bigger vehicles are going to get stuck more. They don't necessarily come with anything, you know, better or faster in terms of your drive, because we already know that that's linked to something else. So just keep that in mind as you're going around the map. You don't spend a ton of time going from here to there, but if you're having problems with your vehicle, swap it out for something that's smaller. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was just a real quick settings tip. If you go into gameplay on your controls and then you scroll down here to Echo Path Location Path Visibility Duration. What this is going to do when you set it to long, when you're on your vehicle and you are trying to follow the Echo Path to a quest marker, that this is just going to keep it up longer. It's going to be easier to follow, especially if it goes on cooldown. Helps you have it up more of the time. So my final tip has to do with quests and leveling. I talked about it in the first episode. You really want to be doing bounties if you're looking to kind of level up as you go, or you could just push the main story. The nice thing, depending upon your point of view, like I'm the kind of guy who likes to go into a game, like I play a lot of Elden Ring and I like to get overpowered early and then I like to just bum rush through the game. Where some people are just going to kind of level up as they play the game. This game, Borderlands 4, you don't have a choice. The game is going to level up as you level up. But the nice thing about that is, you know, it shouldn't be more challenging to play the game because it's not like you're going to come into an area and suddenly the enemies are going to be 10 levels higher than you. They might be 3 or 4 levels higher than you, which might tell you, hey, this is a difficult area. I might get a better rewards here. I might want to do some other stuff and come back here later. So, you know, there is that. You're going to be going along, playing the game and leveling up as you go. But in terms of leveling up, when you reach the end game, you are going to get a new specialization skill tree that pops up. and you are going to want to level that as fast as possible. So one of the things that you should watch out for early in the game is not only the reward quality, but the XP that you get from doing quests. Now, I would never do an acquire quest. They're kind of a pain in the ass. You go out and get stuff and you have to physically bring it back. So I wouldn't accept this quest. Plus, you can see it's got kind of a uncommon, a green rarity in terms of XP. So that's good. It's not going to reward me with a ton of XP. If I look at one of these guys, this is blue rarity. So it's just going to give me some XP, some money, and some iridium, and some gear. So, and the gear has a chance of being either, it can be anywhere. It can either be uncommon or it can be epic, the purple. So when you're doing quests, I would be looking for quests that, don't necessarily give you a ton of XP, so that you can, go around and do kind of the basic quests, get some XP, get reasonably good gear, or have a chance of getting reasonably good gear out of it, and save the really difficult quests that offer a lot of XP for the end game when you've beaten the campaign and you are leveling your specialization tree. So that's it. That's going to wrap up here. I know that was way more than 10 tips, but I like to give people a little value for their viewing time. So I hope you appreciate that. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and look for more Borderlands 4 content coming in the future.